It was a quiet evening in a peaceful neighborhood when loud sirens suddenly shattered the calm. Neighbors slowly peeked through their windows as several police cars rushed toward one house at the end of the street. Officers stepped out quickly, their faces serious and tense. Without wasting time, they surrounded the home of a quiet black man who had lived there for years. Many people in the area barely knew him because he mostly kept to himself. What started as a normal night was about to turn into a shocking event that no one in that neighborhood would ever forget. The police claimed they received an urgent tip suggesting criminal activity inside the house. Without carefully confirming the information, the officers decided to act fast. They knocked loudly at first, shouting commands for the homeowner to open the door. But after a few seconds of silence, they forced their way inside without proper permission. The door slammed open, echoing throughout the house. Furniture shook, and the loud noise startled the man inside. The officers moved quickly, searching every room while yelling orders, completely unaware that they were stepping into a situation far beyond their expectations. Inside the house, the homeowner stood frozen in shock and confusion. He raised his hands calmly, asking why the officers had entered his home. His voice was steady, but his eyes showed concern and disbelief. He kept asking if they had the correct address or any legal warrant. The officers ignored his questions and continued searching aggressively. They treated him like a dangerous suspect, even though he showed no sign of resistance. The tension inside the home grew heavier with each passing second, as the man tried to understand why his peaceful night was suddenly filled with chaos. While searching the house, officers noticed framed photos hanging neatly on the walls. Some photos showed the man wearing military uniforms, standing beside fellow soldiers. At first, the officers assumed the pictures were simple decorations or old memories. However, one officer stopped and looked closer. The badges, medals, and patches displayed in the photos appeared official and highly respected. The officer's expression slowly changed from confidence to confusion. Something about those military images didn't match the story they believed. The atmosphere began shifting as curiosity started replacing their aggressive behavior. One officer moved toward a glass display case in the living room. Inside, there were several medals, commendations, and military awards placed carefully. Each medal carried deep meaning, showing bravery and sacrifice. The officer carefully read the engravings and felt a wave of realization building inside him. These were not ordinary awards. They belonged to someone who had served at an elite level in the military. The officer called his team leader over, pointing silently at the display. The entire group slowly gathered around, studying the awards with growing concern and confusion about their sudden operation. The team leader turned toward the homeowner and asked calmly about his background. The man remained composed and slowly explained that he had served in the United States military for many years. He spoke with pride, but also disappointment about how he was being treated. When he mentioned his role as a Delta Force commander, the room suddenly fell silent. The officers exchanged shocked glances, realizing they were standing in front of someone highly trained, disciplined, and respected. Their earlier aggressive behavior now felt extremely uncomfortable, and they began questioning the accuracy of their initial information. Delta Force is known as one of the most elite and secretive military units. Members go through intense training, dangerous missions, and extreme mental preparation. The officers fully understood what that title meant. The man standing before them was not just a normal citizen. He was someone who had risked his life countless times for his country. The realization created an awkward and heavy silence inside the home. The officers began lowering their voices, and their body language slowly shifted from authority to uncertainty as they processed the seriousness of their mistake. The homeowner calmly asked the officers to explain why they entered his home without proper authorization. His tone remained respectful, but his words carried strength and dignity. The officers struggled to provide clear answers. They mentioned receiving an anonymous tip, but admitted they had not completed a full verification process. The man listened quietly, shaking his head slightly in disappointment. He explained that law enforcement exists to protect citizens, not violate their rights. His calm yet firm response made the officers realize the emotional and legal weight of their actions. One younger officer looked around the home and noticed how organized and peaceful everything appeared. Family photos, books, and military memories filled the space with warmth and respect. The officer began feeling guilt and embarrassment. He realized they had entered the home of a decorated veteran who deserved honor, not suspicion. Slowly, the aggressive atmosphere completely disappeared. Officers began speaking politely and avoided making sudden movements. The entire situation felt like a powerful lesson unfolding in real time, reminding them how quickly assumptions can create serious consequences. The team leader stepped forward and formally apologized to the homeowner. He admitted they should have followed legal procedures before entering the house. The apology was sincere, but could not erase the fear and shock caused by their sudden intrusion. The homeowner accepted the apology, but reminded them that respect and patience are essential in law enforcement. He explained how such mistakes could damage trust between communities and authorities. His words were not spoken in anger, but in wisdom gained from years of discipline and leadership experience. As the officers prepared to leave, neighbors who had gathered outside watched carefully. Some whispered, wondering what crime had taken place. When they saw the officers leaving quietly without making an arrest, confusion spread through the crowd. The homeowner stepped outside briefly, reassuring neighbors that everything was under control. His calm presence brought relief to the worried community. However, the emotional impact of the incident remained strong. The night that started with fear slowly turned into a moment of reflection for everyone who witnessed the unexpected drama. Later, the homeowner sat inside his living room, looking at his military medals. Each medal represented sacrifice, courage, and loyalty to his country. He reflected on how quickly people can judge others without knowing their full story. Despite feeling hurt, he remained proud of his service and his ability to stay calm under pressure. His training had prepared him for dangerous battlefields, but he never expected to face such a situation inside his own home. The experience reminded him that true strength often comes from patience and control. Meanwhile, the police department began reviewing the incident internally. Senior officers examined the decision-making process that led to the forced entry. They realized the importance of verifying tips and respecting citizens' rights. The event became a serious learning moment for the entire department. Training sessions were discussed to prevent similar mistakes in the future. Officers involved in the incident reflected deeply on their actions, understanding that authority must always be balanced with responsibility and careful judgment. The story quickly spread across social discussions and community conversations. Many people shared opinions about law enforcement accountability and citizen rights. Some praised the homeowner's calm and respectful behavior during such a stressful moment. Others questioned how easily misinformation can lead to dangerous situations. The incident started meaningful conversations about trust, respect, and fairness. It reminded people that every individual has a story, and assumptions can sometimes create unnecessary conflict and misunderstanding. Days later, the homeowner returned to his normal routine, choosing peace over anger. He continued living quietly, focusing on family, community, and personal growth. Although the incident left emotional marks, it also strengthened his belief in patience and understanding. He hoped the officers learned valuable lessons from the experience. His story became a reminder that true heroes often show strength through calm actions rather than loud reactions. His dignity during the crisis earned respect from many people who later heard about the event. This unexpected encounter became more than just a mistake by law enforcement. It became a powerful reminder about fairness, responsibility, and respect between citizens and authorities. The homeowner's calm courage showed that real strength comes from discipline and wisdom. The officer's realization showed that learning from mistakes is essential for growth. The night that began with fear ended with reflection and lessons for everyone involved. It proved that understanding someone's true identity requires patience, respect, and the willingness to look beyond assumptions and quick judgments.